Loaded with gold, jewels, and priceless art, the Nazis sent a secret train rolling into the fog of war, and it vanished without a trace. If you value documented World War II history like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. Also, comment from which city you're hearing this from. Now back to the story. Hidden beneath the iron rails, a fortune destined to vanish from history was being assembled. As Nazi forces swept through occupied Europe, they seized gold, artworks, jewels, and other valuables from banks, museums, and private homes. This systematic looting was orchestrated with meticulous planning, designed to fuel the Reich's war machine and reward loyal officials. The scale was staggering. Entire trainloads of gold bars, currency, and priceless artifacts were collected under strict secrecy, each piece catalogued and packed for transport. The audience is immediately drawn into suspense, marveling at the enormity of the plunder while anticipating the mystery of its eventual disappearance. The plundering was not chaotic, it was highly organized. SS officers, bureaucrats, and specialized units coordinated the confiscation of wealth, ensuring that nothing of value escaped. Art historians, jewelers, and accountants were enlisted to assess, package, and transport treasures, blending expertise with coercion. Private collections were seized, including items belonging to Jewish families, resistance members, and political opponents. Witness testimonies reveal the fear and despair of those stripped of their possessions, offering viewers a human perspective amidst the staggering scale of material loss. The suspense builds as the audience considers both the treasures and the moral cost of their acquisition. Transportation of these valuables demanded secrecy and precision. Special railcars, armored and discreetly labeled, carried gold and art across the Reich, often through forested routes or hidden sidings. Guards accompanied each shipment, enforcing strict orders to prevent theft or interception. These operations were conducted in the shadow of military defeat, with the collapsing front lines adding urgency and danger. For viewers, the narrative evokes tension, highlighting the high stakes, the ingenuity of the planners, and the vulnerability of the cargo as chaos overtook the Nazi infrastructure. The human dimension of the heist adds layers of intrigue and moral complexity. Soldiers, administrators, and civilians were complicit, whether through direct participation or enforced compliance. Local populations observed or assisted in moving treasures, often under threat. Diaries, letters, and post-war interrogations reveal moments of hesitation, greed, and fear, creating suspense and ethical reflection for the audience. The story captures not only material loss, but the psychological weight borne by both perpetrators and victims, maintaining engagement and curiosity. Ultimately, the heist of Europe set the stage for one of the most enduring mysteries of World War II. The consolidation of wealth into the so-called gold train represents both the ambition and hubris of a collapsing regime. For viewers, this section provides suspense, historical immersion, and moral tension, establishing the stakes and intrigue that will follow as the narrative explores the train's disappearance, rumored sightings, and the relentless quest to uncover its secrets. Each detail, from meticulous planning to human involvement, invites the audience to engage intellectually, emotionally, and morally, anticipating the unfolding enigma of a treasure lost to history. As Berlin burned and armies advanced, the train disappeared into the fog of war, carrying with it untold riches and a trail of unanswered questions. The gold train, laden with gold, jewels, and priceless artifacts plundered from across Europe, moved under a cloak of secrecy, its final destination shrouded in confusion and haste. Officers and guards, aware of the imminent collapse of the Third Reich, sought to protect the cargo from capture, redirecting it through hidden rail lines, rural sidings, and remote stations. The audience is immediately drawn into suspense, wondering whether the train would survive, be intercepted, or vanish entirely into history. The logistical operation was meticulous despite the chaos. Engineers and drivers followed coded instructions, often working under the threat of Allied air raids and advancing Soviet forces. Some rail lines had been sabotaged or destroyed, requiring quick improvisation and alternate routes. Witnesses reported strange movements of armored trains at night, disappearing into forests and tunnels, adding to the aura of mystery. Viewers feel the tension of a nation in collapse, where the train becomes both a symbol of desperate preservation and a fleeting target of history's uncertainty. Secrecy measures were extreme. Orders forbade guards from revealing the cargo or route, and only a select few were entrusted with knowledge of the train's schedule. Railcars were marked inconspicuously, and convoys moved under darkness or camouflage, blending with other military movements. The sense of paranoia was palpable. Any hint of information could lead to seizure or theft. For the audience, the interplay of careful planning, secrecy, and imminent danger creates suspense and heightens curiosity. As the fate of the treasure seems as fragile as the crumbling Reich itself. As Germany's infrastructure deteriorated, rumors spread among soldiers and civilians alike. Some claimed to have glimpsed the train in small towns or sidings. Others spoke of tunnels and hidden caches in forests or mountains. These stories, often conflicting and unverifiable, fueled speculation that the gold train vanished without a trace, either lost in the chaos or deliberately concealed. The narrative draws viewers into a historical detective story, balancing fact, eyewitness testimony, and mystery to sustain intrigue and anticipation. Ultimately, the departure of the gold train into obscurity symbolizes both the ambition and the disintegration of the Third Reich. Its disappearance became an enduring enigma, captivating historians, treasure hunters, and the public alike for decades. For viewers, this section delivers suspense, historical immersion, and intellectual engagement, establishing the tension and uncertainty that will define subsequent chapters on rumors, sightings, and modern investigations. Every movement of the train, every secretive route, and every eyewitness account reinforces the mystique, leaving the audience eager to unravel the enduring mystery of one of history's most elusive treasures. Whispers of gold hidden beneath the earth tantalized treasure hunters for decades. In the immediate aftermath of World War II, rumors began to circulate about a train laden with the Reich's plundered riches, vanished somewhere in southern Poland. Local villagers, soldiers, and displaced persons reported sightings of armored railcars, secretive movements at night, and suspicious activity along abandoned tracks. Some claimed to see guards hastily unloading crates of gold and valuables before the train disappeared into tunnels or forests. The audience is immediately drawn into intrigue, questioning whether these accounts are fact, exaggeration, or legend. Early post-war investigations were hampered by chaos, destroyed infrastructure, and the rapid retreat of Nazi forces. Allied forces focused on stabilizing the region, while the fractured remnants of the German army moved in disarray. This allowed stories of the gold train to grow unchecked, blending truth, speculation, and myth. Witness testimonies varied. One villager might describe a long armored train moving at night. Another recalled hearing the clatter of heavy cargo through abandoned sidings. These conflicting reports added layers of suspense and ambiguity, keeping audiences engaged as the line between historical record and legend blurred. Journalists and historians began documenting these accounts, collecting statements from locals, former soldiers, and officials who claimed knowledge of secret cargo movements. Maps were drawn, routes reconstructed, and timelines debated, yet no definitive evidence emerged. Some reports suggested the train had been hidden in tunnels. Others claimed it had been destroyed or seized by advancing Soviet forces. The narrative emphasizes the uncertainty, inviting viewers to ponder the scale of the mystery, the reliability of eyewitnesses, and the tantalizing possibility that immense wealth might still lie hidden. The allure of hidden treasure captivated both professionals and opportunists. Treasure hunters, historians, and adventurers embarked on expeditions, often relying on oral histories, maps, and partial documents. Each new claim, whether credible or fabricated, fueled curiosity and intensified public fascination. The audience experiences the thrill of historical detective work, imagining the tension of explorers navigating forests, abandoned rail lines, and tunnels. driven by the promise of gold and artifacts that had disappeared under the fog of war. Ultimately, these early post-war legends set the stage for decades of speculation and investigation. The gold train became more than a historical footnote. It evolved into a symbol of wartime ambition, secrecy, and human fascination with lost treasure. For viewers, this section provides suspense, intellectual engagement, and emotional investment, creating anticipation for subsequent sections, exploring modern searches, discoveries, and ongoing mysteries. Each account, rumor, and sighting reinforces the enigma, ensuring that the story of the gold train continues to captivate imaginations across generations. Despite technology and determination, the train remained elusive, a ghost in history. Decades after the collapse of the Third Reich, the gold train continued to captivate historians, treasure hunters, and local residents alike. Modern searches employed advanced techniques, ground-penetrating radar, geophysical surveys, and satellite imagery, yet the exact location of the train remained unverified. Excavations were launched in areas identified through post-war rumors, archival maps, and eyewitness accounts, but each attempt ended in frustration, reinforcing the enduring mystery. The audience is drawn into tension and intrigue, sharing the anticipation and uncertainty of those who sought the lost treasure. Investigators faced both logistical and ethical challenges. Many suspected hiding sites were located in protected forests, urban developments, or privately owned lands. Digging operations required permits, coordination with authorities, and careful preservation of historical artifacts. Teams had to contend with decades of environmental change, collapsed tunnels, soil shifts, and destroyed infrastructure, making the search increasingly difficult. Viewers are engaged through suspense, imagining the painstaking process of locating a train that had vanished in chaos. The potential for discovery and the lingering question, had it ever existed at all? The story of the gold train also sparked debate among scholars and historians. Some argued that reports were exaggerated, fueled by post-war rumors and the allure of hidden wealth. Others maintained that the train's existence was plausible, supported by wartime records and testimonies from former German officers and local witnesses. The conflicting perspectives added layers of complexity, encouraging audiences to weigh evidence, consider credibility, and engage with the investigative process. Suspense is maintained as viewers ponder whether the line between legend and reality might ever be resolved. Media coverage amplified public fascination. Documentaries, news reports, and online articles chronicled each new expedition, highlighting both successes and disappointments. Interviews with archaeologists, historians, and treasure hunters provided context, revealing the cultural and historical significance of the search. The narrative emphasizes the human dimension, the ambition, hope, and obsession that drive individuals to pursue a phantom of history. For viewers, this section builds anticipation, curiosity, and moral reflection on the lengths people go to recover symbols of power, greed, and legacy. Ultimately, the modern searches underscore the enduring mystique of the gold train. Its disappearance remains one of the most tantalizing mysteries of World War II. A blend of documented plunder, chaotic collapse, and decades of speculation. For the audience, this section delivers suspense, intellectual engagement, and emotional investment, preparing them for the concluding chapter on the train's legacy. The impact of the legend, and the lessons history teaches about secrecy, ambition, and human fascination with lost treasures. Each failed excavation, each unverified report, reinforces the sense that the gold train is less a physical entity and more a symbol of wartime ambition, mystery, and enduring historical intrigue. The train may have vanished, but its legend shaped memory and imagination across generations. Historians and researchers studying World War II have noted the gold train's persistent presence in cultural narratives, blending documented fact with myth. The disappearance of such an extraordinary cache of wealth became a symbol not only of Nazi plunder but also of the chaos and uncertainty that defined the final days of the Third Reich. For the audience, this section engages reflection, blending historical curiosity with the intrigue of mystery. As viewers consider how a vanished train could leave such an enduring mark on collective consciousness, scholars have examined wartime documents, transportation logs, and survivor accounts to trace the train's intended route and contents. Yet, gaps in records and conflicting testimonies fueled speculation, leading to theories that ranged from hidden tunnels to secret storage bunkers in remote forests. This mixture of verified evidence and rumor created a compelling narrative, blurring the lines between historical reality and legend. The audience is drawn into suspense and intellectual engagement, evaluating the plausibility of each account while pondering the motives and opportunities of those who sought the train. The gold train also left an imprint on local folklore. Communities in southern Poland and beyond passed down stories of sudden, armored trains moving through the night, heavy with unimaginable wealth. Tales of secret caches hidden in hills, forests, and abandoned railway lines became part of collective memory, feeding imagination and curiosity. These narratives, preserved orally and later documented by journalists and researchers, highlight the psychological impact of wartime treasures and the way myths can amplify historical events. Viewers experience the suspense of uncertainty, reflecting on how memory and storytelling shape our understanding of the past. Beyond folklore, the train influenced post-war historical analysis and research. Scholars and archivists debated its existence, cargo, and ultimate fate, using it as a case study to explore the logistical capabilities of the Nazi regime, the scale of looted assets, and the challenges of post-war accountability. Each theory and investigation added layers to the historical narrative, creating a complex tapestry that combined fact, speculation, and cultural resonance. For viewers, this reinforces curiosity, engagement, and moral reflection about the impact of human ambition and secrecy on both history and memory. Ultimately, the gold train's disappearance serves as a lens through which audiences can explore broader historical themes, the consequences of war, the nature of human greed, and the interplay between fact and legend. Its legacy endures not in rails or cargo, but in the fascination, research, and imagination it inspires. For the audience, this section fosters reflection on the enduring power of historical mysteries, the intersection of truth and myth, and the human drive to uncover secrets lost to time. Suspense, intellectual engagement, and moral contemplation converge as viewers are left to ponder how one vanished train could leave a permanent mark on history. The allure of lost treasure continues to captivate adventurers and historians alike. Decades after World War II, the story of the gold train has fueled modern obsession, drawing both professionals and enthusiasts into a decades-long quest. From amateur treasure hunters equipped with metal detectors to historians poring over archival documents, the pursuit of this vanished fortune has become a cultural phenomenon. The audience is immediately drawn into suspense, imagining the thrill and uncertainty of searching for a train that may have disappeared forever. Modern expeditions have combined technology with historical research. Ground-penetrating radar, aerial surveys, and geophysical scans have been employed to locate possible tunnels, hidden sidings, or buried railcars. Teams meticulously analyze wartime maps, logistical records, and eyewitness accounts, hoping to reconstruct the train's final route. Yet despite advanced tools and methodical planning, no definitive trace has been found. This tension between hope and failure keeps viewers emotionally and intellectually engaged, sustaining curiosity and anticipation for each new lead or revelation. Media coverage has amplified the fascination, documenting searches, theories, and debates. News outlets, documentaries, and online platforms have chronicled expeditions, OFTEN, highlighting both dramatic successes and notable disappointments. Interviews with archaeologists, local historians, and treasure hunters provide insight into the methods, motivations, and stakes involved. Audiences experience the suspense firsthand, following each development as if retracing the train's path, drawn into the human drama of obsession, risk, and the relentless pursuit of history's hidden treasures. The psychological aspect of modern fascination is equally compelling. The gold train represents not only wealth, but also a tangible connection to the past, a bridge between historical reality and enduring legend. For treasure hunters, uncovering the train is more than material gain. It is the thrill of discovery, the chance to touch history, and the opportunity to solve one of World War II's most tantalizing mysteries. For historians and the general audience, the narrative provokes reflection on human ambition, greed, and the allure of secrets lost to time. Suspense is heightened by the uncertainty. Does the train truly exist, or has it become a symbol of imagination and legend? Ultimately, the modern fascination with the gold train underscores the intersection of history, myth, and human curiosity. Its legend has permeated popular culture, inspiring books, documentaries, and online forums dedicated to exploration and debate. The story captivates not only because of the treasure itself, but because it embodies the enduring power of mystery and the human desire to uncover what has been hidden. For viewers, this section provides suspense, intellectual engagement, and emotional investment, leaving them captivated by the unresolved enigma and the possibility that history may still hold secrets waiting to be discovered.